Hi there. My name's Terces, and I want to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast, Living in Grace by Choice. So it's a podcast by the same name as my book, Unreasonably Grateful, which you can also order through my website, terceenglehart.com, as well as set up an individual session if you're interested in having an elder, that would be me, sit with you and perhaps reflect back to you who you really are rather than the distorted image that we all seem to have of ourselves, that something's missing or it should be some other way or yada, yada, yada. You understand that. So, anyway, if that's something you're interested in, you can sign up. I make myself available on Tuesday mornings. Sometimes I can reschedule things if that doesn't work for you. So, just let me know. And I look forward to seeing you and getting to know you more personally. So, I always start my podcast saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for letting me be a part of your journey. Thank you for being a part of my journey. It's pretty fascinating that this kind of all started with the now known as COVID experience, which separated us and kept people shut in or masked or whatever it did. And, this is a way that we can stay connected, even though I'm up here in northern Idaho on a farm milking cows and making cheese, and you could be in Minneapolis or Chicago or Florida or Spain or Canada or any number of places. So, what this is really all about is me sharing tidbits of wisdom that I've gleaned, which is funny because I just did an episode called My 29th Year of Recovery, and it's actually 39. And the wisdom I've gleaned over these 39 years, healing from 20 years of living an addictive lifestyle, healing from teenage sexual abuse, and then an eating disorder covering up that abuse. So, wherever you are on the spectrum of healing, whether you're simply just learning how to speak up, or maybe how to say no, or maybe how to stop compulsively doing any number of things, or it's just taking a break from electronics, or I don't know what it is, but wherever you are in that process of discovering more about who you really are, who you were designed and created to be, versus who we often become out of either hoping to not repeat or trying to repeat our past and instead living with a wide open future in which you can design and create your experience of life any way you want to. So, that said, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Whether you've been with me for a really long time or perhaps you're brand new, I'm grateful to have this moment with you. And they are brief moments because I know all of us have oftentimes the experience of limited time. And this is always under 10 minutes, and it's something you can listen to easily while you're either getting dressed or driving in the car or wherever you might be where a small podcast might be available. Okay, that said, this particular episode is called Notice What's Working. So recently I became aware of once again how easily it is for our attention to move towards, to navigate towards what's not working, what's missing, what we wish would be, what isn't. Um, you get it. Some version of it's not the way I really want it to be, or the way I thought it might be, or however you might say that. However, we can just as easily train ourselves to focus on all that is working. And when you focus on what's working, more actually starts to work. But again, it's not like you're focusing on what's working in order to get more to work, thinking that it's not. That's what we call smart rat, somebody who uses these tools of communication or transformation to try to manipulate someone else or a circumstance or situation. That's not what it's about. This is always about our inner world, who we're becoming. And the biggest thing I want to share with you is you may not be able to shift the circumstances of your life. It's okay, but you can shift who you are in the process, which will shift your experience of those very same circumstances. And that's the key, no matter where you are in life, whether you think you're on the high of it's going great, you're doing better than you thought you would, you're still trying to climb to get up there, you're on the way down, you feel like you're failing, or you feel like you're in the pits. As someone said this week, I feel like I won the lottery in reverse. Wherever you are, you can always work on your internal world, and your internal world will create your experience of the external world. I can't emphasize that enough. So, beginning to keep your attention, which is, remember, your worship power. It's the most valuable thing you have. Beginning to keep your attention on all that is working makes a big difference. So, for example, my husband is not a romantic. He doesn't buy me flowers or write me poems or buy me gifts or cards or all of the things that you might associate with being a romantic. However, he'll plant a garden and I'll have flowers to cut or pick until the snow gets so deep they can't see them. Or he'll go to the milk room and support me in milking the cows in the morning. Or schedule a trip, which we just got back from, to a hot spring for a past anniversary or birthday. So there's lots of ways he supports me, just as there are a lot of ways I support him. And it would be easy for him to keep his attention on what's not working about me or our relationship. And it would be easy for me to keep my attention on what's not working or things about him that distract me from how extraordinary he is. But I have learned to train my attention, and I continually train my attention to keep my attention on how amazing he is, how thoughtful and kind and generous he is. There are other things I could put my attention on. I simply don't. I may notice them, but I don't dig in. I don't talk about it. I don't point to it. I don't try to change it or fix it. I don't complain about it. I don't nag about it. There are other things about him that aren't the easiest to be with, but there's so many things that are remarkable and fabulous about him. So the question is, where are you going to keep your attention? Remembering that what you attend to is what you're worshiping, and you always get more of what you're worshiping. So who do you want to be in the matter? And one of the things that I've noticed as I've learned to manage where my attention goes, one of the things I notice is he becomes more amazing. And I like myself better. I like who I am in the process. And I can also notice what's working in my other relationships or with my cows or my dogs or the farm crew or the community or my church or myself, my body, whatever it is. So you're learning to track your attention to focus on what's working, what's doing well, what's bringing you joy and peace, and how perfectly your lessons fit together. Learning to keep my attention on what's working is a powerful part of my own personal recovery, my own internal work. And I can see it in other people as well who are struggling to pull themselves out of some kind of compulsive or addictive behavior. So that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to really take it on. Take it on like it's a new exercise, like it's a practice you're going to incorporate into every day of your life for the rest of your life. And it's let your eyes focus on all that's great, all that's amazing, all that's working well. Keep your attention there. And when it drifts to something else, bring it back. You just bring it back. Your attention moves with where you put it. So put it where it brings you the greatest joy, the greatest fulfillment, and the greatest love. All right? And I'll see you next week because I'll be right here looking forward to sharing with you. Have a great week.